Okay. Yes. Do we believe that Nimona is one of the most courageous animated films of all time? It makes sense as a, a marketing. I mean, we're in a very particular kind of marketing at this stage, right? The FYC stuff ahead of the Oscars. But like, I don't know, something about that that particular marketing for this particular movie just hasn't been resonating with me ever since I first saw it crop up. I don't know. It is a sponsored post, so it's just straight marketing, but those like just I that's its history. It's baked into the history of that movie. I totally get it. But the movie itself, I don't know. It didn't land for me. I just really didn't. Hair looks insane. I'm sorry. I'm not trying for like a Johnny Bravo thing. It's just no matter what kind of conditioners I try out, it still has way too much volume. And then it's like a days-long battle. Okay, that looks sort of flat. Welcome to the stream. Easy going stream today. I don't know if anybody's got stories. We'll tell some stories, hang out and chat for a while. It is technically, as far as I can remember, it is technically the anniversary of the channel, sort of. I'm gonna say February 20th. I'm gonna say that's the day. I could look it up. I could look up the exact date of the very first video that I published here to the channel. I know it was in 2020, and I know it was in February. And to be honest, I'm not too keen on the idea of revisiting some of those old videos. But anyway, we'll see. I don't know. I feel the need to chat about some of that stuff today, but also kind of don't want to. Kind of don't feel like it. So we'll just see how it goes. As always, yeah, and yeah, throughout, if anyone has recommendations, go right ahead. If somebody has, random comments, other topics and things they would like to chat about, feel free. Sorry, the cat is, I got some of the nice stuff. Say the word, but I got some of the nice stuff to feed, and she was really into it. She's like, yeah, that was great. Let's do that again. Very expensive though, huh? Probably double the price or more. A lot of energy, huh? Anyway, welcome. Easy going stream. Will it be a short stream, a long stream? I have no idea. We're gonna find out. And actually, you know what? Normally, I run through some headlines here on these animation websites, which is fun. I enjoy it, and it keeps me more or less in the loop. But today, I feel like going through some other kinds of headlines isn't quite correct. I guess it's marketing. But we had a Nintendo Direct this morning, and I just feel like looking over some of that stuff. And I mean, Directs are just marketing. That's all they are. But they have made them fun. And while this is a partner showcase, which means third parties, so not Nintendo themselves developing games, but just, here are other companies that are going to be releasing stuff on our platform. One of those, they're usually not that great. I really liked this one. I really enjoyed it, and there was plenty of stuff in there that has me kind of excited. Which is just impressive, honestly, at this point. Obviously I talk about video games sometimes on the channel. Not that often anymore, unfortunately. But it's I don't know, it's even thinking back to when I started the channel, it was a very different time in my like relationship with video games, I guess. That sounds very corny. And I even made a whole video just specifically about like basically end of life for the Switch. And obviously, it was sort of intended to be premature, because I certainly didn't want to do something like that after there were already 15,000 videos on the exact same topic. Um, Premature, but also one of the points of that video was that it was kind of dead for me. Like the Switch opened the door to a lot of other gaming stuff, other platforms and experiences and all that. And so it got a little bit left behind, which is just, it's sort of the natural path, right? It's the natural trajectory of any particular video game system. But with that said, we apparently have at least through the rest of this year before getting the next Nintendo system, the Switch 2 or whatever, probably bad name they will give it. And so it's going to be a while. It's going to be a while yet. And just from a pure marketing perspective, this did a pretty good job of saying, like, hey, no, there's still stuff, to be excited about. There's still stuff to buy on our storefront. And there absolutely is. That's kind of wild to me. And also kind of a testament to just how, like, accessible and simultaneously niche the Switch is in terms of being a piece of hardware. It's been behind the times since the day it was released, technologically speaking, and it continues to not really matter. Like that aspect continues to not really matter. That aspect continues to not really affect the the health of the system or how much money they can make out of it. So I'll run through some of that stuff too. How are my levels? Music's loud for me, but I don't think it should be very loud for you. So I think we're okay there. Down my volume. There we are. Good to go. Yeah, why not? I'll just chat about some of this stuff really quick. Okay. Well, this is not the most visually appealing breakdown, but it is official, and we got links. Okay, so there's a remaster of Disney Epic Mickey, which was like a mediocre 3D platformer. What was that? Like the Xbox 360 era, I think. Well, they mentioned the Wii, but it released on other platforms, of course. Yeah, odd choice, as other people have been commenting as well. Like it's a weird choice. It's especially weird given Disney's newfound desire to actually really get into the contemporary gaming landscape with their Epic deal announced a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, I don't know. That's a relatively low effort, low resource thing to do to kind of get your foot back in the door, I suppose. But yeah, I don't know if anyone will care. I don't know. I was not crazy about that one. No, it took me a long, long time to play it. World of Goo 2. This is a quick. Well, this isn't a very good story, but I'll count it as a story. It's Storytime Day. World of Goo. It's an old game. It's like a puzzle game essentially, but like a physics puzzler, right? You're making structures with gooey guys. That's the best I got. You solve various puzzles. You have your objectives, and generally there's an incentive to do it as efficiently as possible, right? And it was just pure coincidence, I guess. This sequel was announced, I guess, at the Game Awards last December, and it was probably the same weekend. I think it was probably the same weekend that I was chatting with my parents, and I don't think I even brought it up. I don't think I brought up World of Goo at all. And for quick context, my parents aren't really, they never crossed the border into video game land, really. Like, they've been aware of a lot of it for a long time, but they're not personally into it. However, we had a CD-ROM copy of World of Goo when it was originally released, a long, long time ago. And it was great. It was fun. We were mostly we had a PC. That was our, and then a GameCube a little bit later. Anyway, long story short, that same weekend as the announcement of the sequel, out of the blue, I think my dad just went, "Oh yeah, remember World of Goo? That was really great. That was a really fun game." And I guess he had Tried playing it quite a bit, you know, and getting as far as he could, which is again not typical, not something he would usually get up to. I was like, hey, did you hear? They literally just announced a sequel to that, and everyone's excited because everyone loves that original game, which is true. And I have no doubt that the sequel will be very well received. It just seems very similar. I don't expect, you know, people would be too disappointed with it. Grounded, we don't need to talk about. Penny's Big Breakaway is absolutely worth talking about. In general, I mean, even if you're not big into gaming, but you like animation, my gosh, so much of what we love, I think, about animation manifests in games like this. I also think the timing is a little funny here. I mean, obviously, it's been in development for a long time, I'm sure, but Amazing Digital Circus just immediately comes to mind when I see the lead character here, the player character. So sort of funny in that sense, and you know, obviously, Amazing Digital Circus is influenced by earlier CG, and potentially also by video game stuff as well. So an interesting sort of cross-pollination, I guess, even if only conceptually. But yeah, this is a game a lot of people have been looking forward to for a while. I think it's all of the devs from Sonic Mania, or at least the core team that worked on Sonic Mania, has developed this game. And it's a shadow drop today, and I bought it. In fact, before I even watched the direct this morning, because I wasn't up early enough, 6 a.m. Pacific time they were showing it. I just checked my email, and Steam had a, you know, if it's on your wish list, Steam tells you when a game gets released, and Steam just said, oh, hey, by the way, Penny's Big Breakaway is out now. But that announcement was led here, as far as I know. I did not buy it on Switch. I bought it on Steam to play on the Steam Deck, and maybe here on the PC. Who knows? Will I play it today on stream? Maybe not. It's a possibility. And it's pretty great. I won't go too far into it, you know, and I doubt that I'll be doing a full review. It's not really my shtick, but it is great. Yeah, and certainly worth looking at. $30 might be a bit much to some folks, but I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. I happen to have, you know, the money for it at this moment, so that's fine by me. It was very funny for them to put, in terms of editing, the way that they announced these older games, an SNES game, an NES game, and they gave it a lot of pomp and circumstance, it felt like, and excitement and hype, despite the fact that, like, I don't know, it's another huge, it's probably way too much to get into. It's just funny to me the way that Nintendo treats legacy titles like this and sort of classic gaming stuff. And how much they hoard and guard that stuff, whereas basically anyone with an internet connection and, you know, very basic computer literacy can play the games, you know, legal or otherwise. It is incredibly easy to access all of these games in 12 different ways. And then they're like, hey, aren't you excited? Now it's a part of a paid service. Sort of funny. Anyway, there's another South Park game coming out that doesn't look especially good to me so far. Oh, look at this. Let's say 1990. Let's crazy. Do 5. I don't know. It doesn't look especially good. It's a 3D game. I guess it's just like a 3D action game, possibly co-op game. But I don't know, it doesn't have nearly as much charm to me as the South Park RPG, you know, turn-based stuff had. So, sure. Sure, fine. Well, this relates to the channel directly, of course. So, this crab game, which is developed by, the developer is Aggro Crab, not really related to the subject of this game. But yeah, their first game was Going Under, which is just a fantastic roguelike. That's a satire of startup culture, basically, and I made a video about it a long time ago. And it remains, I don't know, it remains one of the funniest things I've played, and it also just felt like especially cathartic, I guess, because at that time the memories of my own startup experiences were still relatively fresh. Um, so an incredibly funny team, smart team. Um, I just admire their work a lot, and for this one, they're pivoting to like ocean pollution, I guess, with references to the first game and stuff. But it's just Souls-like with the crab. Hey, Alan, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. I guess you've always had that Mario profile picture, right? I think it's Mario. It's very small. For a second, I was like, hey, that's fitting because we're talking about the Nintendo Direct stuff. Either way, look, that's kind of nice art. It's a nice PNG for the website. How's it going, Alan? What's been up with you? How was your week? Have you watched or played anything good lately? Or not? There's a contra guy. Pepper Grinder. Everyone seems to have forgotten. I feel crazy. I don't know. They're since November 2017. Nice. And that's no, Odyssey released late October 2017, right? I was gonna say, was that like the around release? Never changed it since. I almost never change profile pictures, including on this channel. I have not for a very long time. So this makes me feel crazy. Okay, Pepper Grinder. There was like a demo for this. Not even I don't think it was public. I think it was going around to different cons and stuff. Years ago. It might have been 2015. It might have been 2016. It might have been 2017 at like the latest. People talked about it. A few people talked about it at the time, and then it completely disappeared until like late last year, I guess. And no one would. Everybody just sees it. Oh, it's a brand new thing. No, this is a revival. This thing, I'm guessing, was on the ropes. Might have been a solo dev at first. I don't know. This is a revival. Yeah, this is a resurrection. Devolver, I guess, is footing the bill for this one. And it does have a demo, and the demo's pretty good. Feels quite nice. It's been good. Thanks for. Oh, I'm glad. Glad to hear it's been a good week so far. I'm trying to think if it's been a good week for me. I don't know. I guess I've been really distracted. I have had a really hard time focusing on like things I need to focus on during the day, to be honest, which is not like, I don't know. It's not a new thing, but it's like it's it's at a new extreme currently, and I don't enjoy that. I do not enjoy just like struggling to finish a thing, you know? Anyway, but otherwise fine, I guess. It's been really nice weather. We had some great rain, and now things feel nice and fresh. Feels very springy to me lately. So that's been pretty good. Yeah. I guess it's Wednesday, huh? Yeah, I would say it's a fine week so far. If I can get everything done by the end of the week, then it's a great week. You know, then it doesn't really matter what happened in between. And I'm expecting a big old package. I've been making plenty of splurge purchases, probably many. But there's one that's supposed to be coming in tomorrow from Japan, and I'm very excited about that. It's very much animation focused. But I don't know if it'd be worth chatting about here, but that should be fun. Alan says, I haven't seen any movies in like almost 2 weeks. Maybe next days I'm gonna rewatch Over the Garden Wall. Oh, since it would be the first time watching it or rewatching it since 2018. That would be great. I mean, I I guess I've made it clear on the channel before, but obviously I love Over the Garden Wall. It's great. It's a lovely time. I have digital copies of it, but I believe it streams through Max, right? I don't think it got cut. All that Warner Discovery, streaming shenanigan stuff. I'm very excited about the news that Bong Joon-ho started production on an animated movie. Yeah, I think I mentioned that last week very briefly on the stream. Just like, oh look, there is a headline that he's working on some animated movie. It's apparently going to be the most expensive Korean animated movie, I guess, ever. And yeah, Max for Over the Garden Wall. Um, yes. Yeah, no, I don't know. At some point in my life, I might have been a little bit skeptical of a live action director transitioning to animation, but it's happened successfully so many times at this point, in my mind anyway, that I'm not worried at all. And especially, I don't know, I haven't seen a lot of Bong Joon-ho movies that are just straight up bad at all. You know, I I don't think he would just jump into a project that he has no idea what he's doing and it's a giant disaster. I guess it's possible. I don't think it's likely, and I assume, given the amount of money involved, that the team is going to be great. So there's that. I don't know. But yeah, it'll be a long time, of course, until we actually see that. But it's nice to have it out in the distance. It's definitely something to look forward to. Anything else here? There's gonna be a new Super Ball. A Super Ball. There's a new Super Monkey Ball game coming out relatively soon. Although it sounds like it's very much online focused, which is not necessarily what I want. But it is exciting that it exists. I was looking at that. And some others, I don't know. I don't think there's any that I really need to. There's a Moomin game coming out. I don't exactly know what the gameplay is supposed to be there. It's a lovely style, great art direction, but I don't know. It looks, given the style, it makes me think it's some sort of adventure-y, point-and-click adjacent kind of deal. I don't know. That's just the vibe. It certainly doesn't look like an action game. But yeah, it looks quite nice, and I heard about it a long time ago. DLC? What are you talking about? What? What is this DLC? Cosmetic DLC? Wooden mouthpiece. It's not a pipe. So they recognize that it is a tobacco reference. Okay. That's weird. Oh my gosh, that's weird. Why would cosmetic? Okay, whatever. Anyway, we're moving on. I don't think there's any, but yeah, Penny's Big Breakaway is great. I've been enjoying it so far. I've only played a handful of levels, but I really like it. Got to get used to it. You have to, you know, play it on its own terms. It has very particular movement and fit stuff, but it's very fun. It feels really nice when you actually nail. Yeah. What else do we have here? Let's see, for animation stuff. Push the music along a little bit too. This song's a little bit too backgroundy. What was this one? Come on. Okay, good enough. Is there anything here that we can understand? Yeah, so what is this Batman Beyond stuff? Also, maybe new episodes of Pokemon Concierge? Is that what's happening? So new stuff? Concept art. Okay, so it's just they have a pitch for some Batman Beyond stuff that seems heavily influenced by Spider, and one of these guys worked on Spider-Verse, right? Okay. Okay. Animated feature, not a show. There's absolutely no way we can do a Beyond movie, but they loved our enthusiasm. The time since we've been pitching our way up the company, hoping to get to James Gunn. Okay. Okay, so not greenlit at all. It's not happening as of right now, but we have some concept art that they've been using to pitch this thing. Obviously, right? Obviously, in the same vein as how do I? There you go. Obviously, in the same vein as Spider Verse, visually speaking. And I don't know, like the Batman Beyond. There's a very particular silhouette here that I immediately associate with that. Um, and color palette, of course, right? Such strong reds in the Batman Beyond stuff that I remember. Um, but yeah, it would be neat. I don't know. At the same time, like the idea of having yet another specifically superhero movie that's adopting a very similar style to Spider Verse. I don't know. It's almost too matchy match, in my opinion. I'm not against it, obviously, and I would almost prefer some sort of series, though. Given the amount of work it would take to pull off this look, maybe that's just completely. I don't know. Maybe that would be considered a waste, as opposed to a big feature that could rake in potentially hundreds of millions. And then yeah, let's see what this is. It just new episodes dropped for Pokemon Concierge? Now in production. Oh, okay. So, oh no. So, I mean, I should have guessed that, huh? It's stop motion. Obviously, it's going to take a very long time. You know, that just makes sense. So they're moving. They're moving on. I don't even know if they would call it a season 2, but moving on more episodes. I already said my piece on Pokemon Concierge. I don't think I need to say any more about it. This, sure, why not? I guess that's fine by me. I'm not saying that I will necessarily be waiting in front of the TV for midnight of release day. But yeah, sure, why not? And I'm sure the new episodes will feel very episodes. That's that. Now, what are they saying about Cat Soup? So if you don't know Cat Soup, it is just a short. Well, I mean, it's what, about half an hour, I think. So for animation that's a lot of work still, of course. It's still very long. But yeah, Masaki Yuasa is the animator, or sort of the lead behind this particular project. He would go on to head Devilman Crybaby, I guess, Ping Pong the anime, and then he's directed some movies. There's Inuo from just a couple of years ago, I think. There's Lou Over the Wall, which is not very good. And he also either guest directed or guest storyboarded an episode of Adventure Time, the food chain episode. Still one of my favorites. Anyway, a much earlier work from Yuasa is Cat Soup. It's a short, and there's a cat brother and cat sister, and I think that half of the cat sister's soul gets stolen away, so the cat brother has to go on this adventure, globe-trotting journey, an incredibly surreal experience to try to get back the other half of her soul, which I guess happens. It's the specifics are not especially important. It's so much about the visuals, and it's so much about the execution of the animation. It's an incredible introduction to Yuasa's work and style specifically. And I guess there's no news here. I hope a Blu-ray will be released in the future. Sorry, I wish my French was better and I could really zero in on this. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it has been out of print for quite a while. I don't even know if you can stream it anywhere. I think there was a YouTube upload in full for quite a while. Not sure whether it's there. I definitely can't show it on the stream here now, unfortunately. Uh, but just fantastic. I was hoping this would be news about an actual release, but I guess not. I guess not yet. We haven't made it there. Um, but yeah, UAS is great. Uh, just such a particular style, and how it translates to animation is just wonderful. It's just great. So that's that. Well, I was hoping for more. Oh well. Now over here, there's some nonsense. There's I don't know. There's some things we don't. There's some sponsored posts. We don't need to worry too much about this stuff. But oh wait, what is this here at the top? Ah, gee, kids. Gee, kids. I guess famous for being well for quite a while now a hard copy distributor of Ghibli movies, and they've also headed limited theatrical re-releases of a lot of Ghibli projects. Um, I don't know. They're going for a very particular audience with this one. I don't know. I'm not expecting to get too many more details out of this. It's kind of all in the headline, but I am curious. So 2 days. Okay, that's wow. That is a very limited run. For context, yeah, I relatively recently really got into Evangelion, specifically the original show, and then the movie. I watched the rebuild movies later on and did not. I don't like them, and I don't think they're good. They are there. It's more content, but it's that original show and this movie in particular that are especially interesting to me. And just for even more context of the role that this movie played relative to Evangelion as a franchise, the original series, without actually getting into spoilers, has an incredibly abstract and strange ending. Incredibly strange. Even by modern internet standards. It's very weird, and it's very hard to follow if you don't, if you're not already following along perfectly with absolutely everything, including stuff that hasn't really been revealed yet. It's a lot, apparently, behind the scenes. They were having a really difficult time even just finishing the show. Really tight deadlines. I think they were short on staff or money or both. And that is also reflected in the ending of the original series. So, upon initial release of the show's ending, a lot of people were mad, and they were just like, what was that? I get nothing out of that. Oh no, I hate this now. Years later, everybody decided, no, it was actually kind of genius and we love it a lot. But in between, shortly after the release of that original ending that most people were mad about, and later acceptance of that ending, they decided to make a movie that's basically the series again in a condensed form with slightly different plot points and a different ending, or from a certain angle, like a different way to portray the ending from the original show that's much more accessible. It's understandable to the average person as opposed to the nonsense happening in show's ending. So there you have it. So end of Evangelion is great in its own right. I really like the movie, or at least a lot about that movie, and the idea of it being released in a theater, now that I am a fan of the show, is interesting. I wonder, though, there's a lot of weird right stuff, and even in terms of the dub, there's some nonsense. The original English dub isn't just not good, I'm sorry. And Netflix did their own redub within the last few years, I think. And here we are. Does this mention whether it's going to have a particular dub? They mentioned they released a Blu-ray for the show, but I don't even know what dub that would have been. There you go. There's what I mentioned earlier. I don't think we have. Okay, not a lot of details. Hey, Ugo, how's it going? I like the clapping penguins. I'm glad. From Penny's Big Breakaway. It's the only. They're the only penguins I can think of that we chatted about today. Anyway, so there it is. This doesn't even mention where they're doing these screenings. We've got the dates, and that is all. I don't see any links. Okay. All right. I don't know. I'm tempted. On the one hand, I'm tempted. It would be neat to see it in the theater, especially if it was a film print. That would be cool. I doubt it will be. It's just gonna be some digital. But on top of that, as much as I love Evangelion, I don't necessarily want to hang out or see other people who are into Evangelion. Have you ever had one of those? You know, you like a thing and it's very, it's personal, you know? It's personal connection. You don't necessarily want to discuss it with other people. You don't necessarily want to share it with others. And I don't know, in this case, I'm just a little bit worried. It's a pretty weird series overall. And I'm not sure if, you know, while there are probably lots of people out there who like it for the same reasons that I do, there are also probably a lot of people who like it for completely different reasons that I can't relate to at all. So I feel like showing up to one of those screenings, it would just be a massive wild card experience. You know, it would just be like I don't know, man. Anyway, how's it going, Ugo? What's up with you? Has it been a good week so far? It is Wednesday. Yes, I remember. I just said it, but yes, it's Wednesday. Um, what was I thinking about? I should have thought of some good stories too. Probably have a couple in my back pocket. Ugo says, "Sorry, I was talking about how the show ends with the very funny way everyone just says, oh, I'm sorry for you're getting into spoiler territory." No, that's not a very intense spoiler. But yes, no, I love the original ending. I think that when I first watched it was just on Netflix in like 2021, I think. I don't think I had the background. I think I just watched it. And that was the perfect way, I think, to experience it. Because well, because I didn't have the outside influence, because I didn't have the context, you know. It was so magical going through that show overall. It was so magical for it to just transition from like a pretty okay mecha anime into something that's actually really special and interesting and creative and incredibly different, you know. So I was glad I didn't have the breakdown, and I'm pretty sure I liked the original ending for what it was, though I didn't understand it at the story level at all. I just, you know, I enjoyed what I saw. Ugo says, "Been okay. I had to go back to the had to go to the office today." I'm sorry to hear that. That's bad news for anyone, I think. It's especially bad for me. It's so funny. I don't know. Like there's still lots of things I don't enjoy about, you know, the work that I'm doing right now for, you know, full-time work. But at the same time, I recognize it's so much better than in-office work, you know, standard 9 to 5 stuff. So like I'm grateful on the one hand, and there are things I would like to change on the other hand. But it would be a real struggle for me personally to head back into an office every day. Like it would be very, very tough. I think it's been a long time. It's been like coming up on 6 years, I think. It has been a long time. And there's nothing I miss about The Office. There's no social component, no practical component, you know, nothing about routine or commute or any of that. I don't any of it. Even free food, you know? Some jobs might have free food for snacks and stuff. I don't miss it. I don't miss it. I'm capable of feeding myself. Uh okay. So yeah. So I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm sure you made it through okay. It's a lot, but we'll see. That's where I'll wind up again someday. It says yes. I forgot that it was on Netflix. Netflix had it redubbed because of legal reasons. Yeah, we were just talking about that. Yeah, and I think the Netflix redub is kind of controversial. For a number of reasons. I mean, it's also just the new kid on the block. You know, if people were a fan of the old thing, that's enough grounds to dislike the new thing. I really like the Netflix redub, and I will not watch the show with the original English dub at all. I just won't do it. But yeah, I like the redub, and even for certain characters that people insist are, I don't know, poorly handled in the redub, I just don't agree. I don't see that. I think they did a very good job of recognizing certain elements of certain characters, let's say. Sorry, I'm really dodging spoilers at this point. Also, let's see, there's some BAFTA stuff, right? I'm pretty sure, yeah, Boy and the Heron won the BAFTA for animated feature. So there you go. And what, yeah, did Spider-Verse win the Annie? Is that right? For animated feature? Either way, we felt that already, right? I think we had that sense of it as soon as the nominations were announced, or maybe even earlier. We just knew. We knew that Spider-Verse and Boy and the Heron were the strongest ones coming into award season. And yeah, that remains the case. It's not surprising. And honestly, I still think it's a toss-up. I think it's a toss-up other than the fact that the first Spider-Verse movie won animated feature at the Oscars. This is a sequel. You know, Boy and the Heron is not a sequel, and it's from such a lauded and well-regarded studio and director and everything. I think it's just too enticing for the Academy to ignore, you know, for them to bypass. So yeah, there you have it. I'm putting my money on Boy and the Heron. Figuratively speaking, I don't even know who to contact. I hear about people placing bets over the phone in Vegas. I don't know how that works. Like, is it a personal contact that you have to line up, or are there just like websites at the? I'm not very interested in that. So I know last week we were talking about school stuff. Last week we were talking quite a bit about school stuff, and Catholic school stuff specifically. And I was wondering, like, I don't know, people make jokes, oh, traumatic, blah 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 blah. Here it is. So, I don't know if it has a Mickey 17. No. I don't think it's named yet, right? But yeah, this is what we saw, I think, last week. Yes. But yeah, I'm not seeing a title. We know the story will focus on the relationship behind him. There you go. Right. Got that. Yeah. No name. As far as we can tell, it's smart, especially because it's an international release. They have to consider different names for different regions. It's, you know, there's a lot to handle there behind the scenes. So So yeah, let's see. I don't know. Should I play some of the game? Should I play some of the game in the background? I feel like we tend to lose interest. Yeah, Mickey 17 is this year. That's a live action movie, right? Should I play some of this game? I don't know. If I do, it's, we'll continue chatting. That's the problem though. Sometimes I get caught up in the thing doing rather than talking with everybody. But yeah. Hey Corbin, how's it going? Welcome. Corbin says, I saw a Bee and Puppy Cat in the thumbnail. One of the best shows of the last several years. Very calming and wonderfully bubbly soundtrack. I agree with every single part of that, Corbin. Yeah. I and the weird thing is I don't think I'm even caught up, right? It felt like a stealth drop for the second season. Did they call it a second season? Bee and Puppy Cat's just the best. I had been following it since the original, what I guess technically a web pilot years and years ago, right? And then crowdfunding, and then a very long time through production, and then the leak ahead of the official Netflix release. So much going on with that one, but my gosh, yeah, the finished product was just fantastic. Like, it's just a great. I don't know that it's such a particular sensibility, subject matter, writing, even. I love the voice cast for that show is great, and again, I agree the music is wonderful. There's some love. Did Louis Zong work on that show potentially as an animator and as a musician? I don't remember. I think he was involved in some way, but I'd have to double check. Either way, yeah, fantastic music, and I don't know, some of the best palettes. Definitely some of the most like contemporary color palettes, I think, in recent animation, right? Because even if we think of like, okay, in a way, Bee and Puppy Cat is in the same camp as something like Hazbin Hotel, right? Where it is ultimately independent animation, very much driven by web traffic, and online discussion. But in terms of execution, completely different, right? And has been from color to character design to all these other aspects of execution. Feels more like, I don't know, late 90s, early 2000s, American television animation. And fair enough, right? That's the style. Totally cool, and it connects with a lot of people. But for me, yeah, Bee and Puppy Cat feels more modern in a way. And just, I don't know, this style speaks to me a little bit more, that's all. But yeah, again, and I think you used the word relaxing too, just to look at the thing. So many cool colors, so many pastels, and the textures they're using too. Obviously, I'm just rambling, but it's great. It's really great. I made a video about it a long time ago, which is what that image is from. That's from the thumbnail for the really old video. But I would love to revisit it. I probably should. I have a Netflix subscription again, and I'm sure it would look lovely with maybe supports HDR. I'll have to check, but it would look great. I'd love to go through it. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that'd be a fun one. Reboot entirely. Really, for season 2? Like it's a whole different thing? Ugo says Netflix called season 1, but it's a season 2. The first 3 episodes are all new and a reboot of wow. Okay. I'm only getting more interested. Thank you. Thank you for the information, guys. That's wild. So, but like a sincere reboot, or is it some sort of alternate timeline thing where it's supposed to be in some way still connected to the original storyline? Because even, the first season of the Netflix show itself is also technically a reboot, right? Because it is following along with the first few episodes of the web show, and then it diverges and expands, right? Let's see. Corbin says the new season has some very strange enigmatic lore. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, it's interesting to me. and I'm not. I've talked about this before. I'm not always into lore in the sense of like you need all this info to even understand what's happening, but I do enjoy lore or lore adjacent stuff when it just adds to it. You know, it just adds more depth. And like it's there if you want it. It's supplemental to the show itself. So that sounds potentially very interesting. But I would love to. I just have to. It's just gonna move up the list, you know. Uh, in fact, let's go ahead and on the screen. Ugo says, I keep reading that Netflix is going to season 2. They've not posted anything. They also haven't said it's been canceled. But I feel they're waiting until there are more episodes before they're saying anything. Berman says it helps break down my own sense of toxic masculinity too, and helps embrace queerness. Oh, that's great. That's great news. Yeah, again, the subject matter is so specific and just genuinely different, you know, from most contemporary animation offerings, at least in terms of like really produced stuff. You know, that winds up on television or the major streaming services. There's plenty of variety in just web animation, right? But it's rare for that kind of variety to break through to the larger platforms, I suppose. But that's really cool. I'm really glad to hear that it's been helpful in that way. Alan says, did you watch Hazbin Hotel, like the actual show now? I remember watching the pilot in 2019 and I was excited to look what the crew made, and in my opinion, it was good. It has potential. So I'm pretty sure the show had released, right, or like whatever they had ready, and then because it was also bouncing around different district, right? Because at some point it was Max. Is it still Max? So yes, they've actually okay. Yeah, it wound up on Prime. I have Prime. I could totally watch that. Oh, it was just January. Okay. I'm remembering now. I promise I had this information before. And maybe I'm also getting confused because of Hell of a Boss, right? But yes. First 2 episodes are now available in the A24 app. What are you talking about? 79% on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, because everybody went crazy for that pilot. My gosh, right? That was such a big deal and continues to be a big deal, right? That even kind of set the stage for Amazing Digital Circus in a way. Anyway, sorry. I should say, I saw the original pilot. I think I either made a video about it a long time ago or I did a stream about it a long time ago. And then we're like, yeah, just waiting around for it to actually release. So you know what? Yeah, it is on. I have Prime. I think. So it's going on the list. I'm curious though. Yeah, I get the sense that it was an underwhelming reception as just compared to that pilot. But what they've made their money, right? It's just a matter of whether they're going to produce more. Cool. All right. Yeah. We will check it out. Let's see. Ugo says it's a new show due to legal reasons. The first 3 episodes are a retelling of the web episodes. Corbin said, did he finish the Netflix season? That's all that's out at the moment. I'd really have to check. I know I finished whatever was out, whatever was released for that initial release of the Bee and Puppycat Netflix show. Like I had all that down. But I thought I had seen new stuff, so maybe it was extended. I've just lost track. It's on the list regardless. If there's more of this weird reboot stuff, I'll check that out too. There's a lot. There's a lot. But Alan says season 1 is completed on Prime. Okay, so we do have Hazbin Hotel. Season 1 is complete, finished, posted, done. So we can watch all of that over on Prime with ads now. Ugo says Hazbin Hotel was done with A24, and they hadn't told where they were going to go. People kept saying it's with Max due to A24 works with them. I'm pretty sure there was more. I'm pretty sure there was like some sort of confirmation that it was going to be on Max. It might have even been advertised by Max at some point. I'm pretty sure I saw some like very official official documentation for that. I don't know, but also just that's distribution is fickle anyway. And unless it's all signed, unless it's actually a done deal, there's always room for changing it. So I don't know. Yeah, Prime is a less prestigious outlet or platform, but it's accessible. That's probably the most important thing. I haven't heard any big complaints about that. I'm guessing more people have Prime streaming just automatically because they already have Amazon stuff going on as compared to Max, and Max is very expensive. Blah blah blah. Anyway, but yeah, it's about time that I actually just sat down to watch the thing. Yeah. Mm-mm-mm. Corman says I kind of like Steven Universe later seasons. I didn't. Fiona and Cake was blessed. The Max show. It's also great. Yeah, Fiona. Now, what was the? My gosh, what were the specials they did? Distant Lands. Distant Lands was great. Feels like such a long time ago, and it really wasn't. Urban says Scavenger's Reign was also probably my all-time favorite show. Now, up there with Devs. Okay, cool. Nice. Let's put it on the list. Right. Not entirely my fault. Repeated letters, but it's kind of my fault. What else? Corbin says absolutely incredible Scavenger's Reign animation, sense of ecosystem, nature, and technological balance. That sounds cool. Solar punky, dare we say? Is it a solar punky vibe? What else was I gonna look up? Sorry about this. Looking it up. I don't know whether this ever actually released. Did this? I think so. Just another web show, web animation show that I was thinking about that I saw. I guess I saw the pilot for a long time ago, and it hasn't released. Obviously, it just takes time to produce, but I was secretly hoping that it would say, "Yeah, it's out. You can watch it right now." Oh gosh. Yeah, and that's the only info. Is like, hey, there is a pilot for this show. Sorry, I recognize that the visuals on here right now are not that great. I should probably put something else up on in here. But yeah, Scavenger's Reign, I would be interested That's another Max, right? I think from what I saw. Yes, it is indeed a Max project. Okay, cool, very cool. Alan says, speaking of late 2010s shows, lol, did you like Gumball? Are you looking forward to season 7? I mean, I don't have too much to say about Gumball. I will say that I have generally positive feelings about the show. You know, I'm on board. I think it's a cool show. I think it's some neat art direction and character design and stuff. I never really followed it though, so that's where my input fades away. Like I don't, I didn't keep up with it, so I can't make specific comments on where like I don't know what I would hope for in new episodes or anything like that. It's just something out in the ether there for me. I guess I'm glad that apparently they're doing a season 7. That's cool, and I know that they have a pretty dedicated fan base. I think, and they got plenty of memes. Got a lot of meme mileage out of that show as well. So no, I'm glad, but I don't have any specific like expectations for new episodes. Let's see. Ugo says Ian Jones Corey only worked on the first season of Steven Universe. Oh, okay, we're talking about behind the stuff there. Gotta go now. I'll leave the office. Take care. Hey, thanks for being here, Ugo. Thank you so much. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Gotta do that commute. No fun. No good. Alan says, same, really liked it. For Gumball. What else was I going to mention? Another show to bring up? I don't know. Well, it's not animation. I don't know. Should we talk about it? Should we talk about Should we talk about sort of the is it an elephant in the room? I'm not sure. Sorry, plugged in here. Should we talk about it? Well, I guess it is animation related originally. So a few weeks back, we went ahead, or I went ahead and watched the trailer during the stream. Couldn't have it on the screen, of course, but I did watch it, and I had some thoughts on it. And in the run-up to release, which is tomorrow, tomorrow, I've just seen a lot of the usual stuff, if you know what I mean. So, like, within the fan base, it's very split. It's a lot of people saying, hey, based on what we've seen so far, I don't like it, and other people saying, hey, a trailer isn't enough to judge, the quality of a finished product. I'm going to reserve my judgment, or I'm going to defend the thing that I haven't seen yet. So very typical stuff, very much expected from sort of reboots, remakes, rehashes, etc. of really beloved properties. And I can say for sure that the original show is something I love. This is a fantastic show. And it's made me sad to see it largely mishandled in the decades since its original release. So based on that trailer, I'll be honest, I was not like my opinions were not especially positive. I didn't have the most positive takeaways. And I think during that other stream, I also went deep into a whole rant about how like I just straight up don't really support or understand the idea of live action adaptations of animated source material. I just don't connect with it. I've never felt that it really added something substantial to the universe, or that it informed the original work in an interesting way, that it made it more accessible to other people who aren't already into it, but it maybe does all of those things for other people. So I am Interested. I'm a little bit on the edge of my seat, maybe even literally right now. I think I'm gonna. How about you guys? Do you have any interest in this one? Do you think you'll be checking it out tomorrow? Is it worth checking it out on release? Are you interested in seeing what the discourse around this one is in the coming days and weeks? I'll say just a couple. I don't think discussion of anything lasts beyond a couple weeks anymore, right? There will be some talk right after it comes out, and that's going to be it, good or bad, right? It's going to stop very quickly, I think. That's just the nature of the media landscape. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not fully in one camp or the other. I'm not trying to go into it with any special amount of cynicism. I don't think. But again, yeah, just the nature of live action adaptations of animated stuff. I just get it. Maybe I just lack the ability to understand the reasons for wanting to do this. Also, then the other day, I think I can show this on my phone without doxing myself. I was just out and about, probably on my way to Target. And we across, I should check OB. I came across this bus, which it'll be hard to see in this view. There's like a speaker on top of Appa's back, and it almost looks like there's a harness there that like you could actually sit on. But this is not a double-decker bus at all. It's just a regular bus, you know, with a roof where you're not allowed to go there. So I don't completely understand. I didn't hear it making Appa noises or anything like that. But yeah, my gosh, even just the design of Appa here has really been something to see. Oh my goodness. Yep. So kind of excited. I don't know. I remember being on the edge of the, you know, the eve of the One Piece live action. And just having no idea. Hey, maybe it'll be good. Maybe I won't like it at all. I had no idea how other people were going to respond to it. And I have a feeling it's sort of a similar situation. Like my judgment on whether or not this is going to be good or well done is irrelevant. My judgment, you know, there's a 50-50 chance it'll be completely disconnected from how the general public will receive this thing and how the dedicated audience will receive it. So from that angle, it's kind of exciting. It's like, oh, anything could happen. We'll find out. It could blow everybody's minds and become a new beloved entry. At the same time, just really going Captain Hindsight on this one. Do you think? Obviously, Legend of Korra was an extension, right? Filled out the world, expands. It's its own story that has certain connections, you know, to the original, obviously. But it is its own thing. Do you think if they announced a live action, not adaptation, but just a live action Last Airbender project of some kind, period, and it's new characters and a new story, do you think it would have the same pressure as a direct adaptation? No, of course it wouldn't, right? But would it also have the pull? Would it have the draw as a direct adaptation of the original series? I think it would be kind of neat to be getting a live action series that says, "Oh yeah, we're set in that universe." You know, like all of those things happened in this universe, but we have our own story We have our own ideas. We have our own set of characters that will feel like they fit the universe, but they're not the same characters that you have grown to love and have a bunch of, merchandise of on your shelf. Uh, that seems like a much safer move, but I have no doubt that, if that idea even came up, it was immediately vetoed because, well, no, then we can't do the same kind of marketing. It won't have the pull of saying, it's those characters you love. Come see if we messed them up. Anyway, so yeah, I am genuinely excited. In fact, if this releases at like midnight, I might do that. I might do that. Tell me, Netflix. Coming Thursday, right? What time? Oh, check it out. Ruby Gilman is now on Netflix too. How about that? Okay. Okay. Premieres? They just say they usually release new content at 3 a.m. Eastern Time, 12 a.m. Pacific Time. Okay. Sold. I will be there roughly 5 hours from now. When this I think I'm gonna be there. I can't wait. Wow, that's pretty exciting. How many episodes is it gonna be? 8 episodes. Okay. Okay. Depending on runtime, that's kind of doable for a late night binge. We'll see about it. But yeah, if anyone has thoughts or feelings on that show, let me know. I am curious. But yeah, I think I'll have to check that out. Cool. Whether or not it's worth a video, not sure. Probably don't want to jump into the fray at the first chance. What else do we have here? Anything else interesting? Yeah, unfortunately, apparently Noggin has just been gutted completely. Sorry. I know that's a change in tone. But yeah, Noggin, doing preschool, mostly, or I guess entirely animated stuff. Children hit with a bunch of layoffs in particular over at Paramount. That's very sad. Obviously, I am not in the target demographic for Noggin and their projects, but I don't know. That brand has been around for quite a long time, and I appreciate their existence. That was paired with, I think there was another headline here that's related. Let's see, here we go. French producer says that 2024 is a year of transition as the US streamers reduce investment in kids programming. So, strange to me. Strange. And like, look at how much of this is related just on the home screen here, the homepage. Disney acquired, I suppose, at least for streaming, some web original children's animated stuff. Then talking about US streamers reducing investment in children's programming. A few weeks ago, we looked at some stats from Netflix. Yes, they were released directly from Netflix. It was just straight up streaming numbers. Their most streamed shows, right? Going into the thousands. Just here's a list, how many streams they got, hours viewed, that sort of stuff. And by far, at least in terms of animation, kids animation aimed at very young children completely dominated. Like it was incredibly popular, stuff like Coco Milan or do they have Masha and the Bear? I don't remember if it has that. But either way, stuff like that that has billions of views here on YouTube, completely dominated. I don't know. Is there just an assumption that like kids will continue to rewatch stuff that they're already watching, so therefore we don't need to invest in the production of new episodes or shows? I don't know, but yeah, there's a weird potential disconnect between these various stories here. I don't know. Interesting to hear, but obviously I'm a supporter of really quality children's animation. It's just that unfortunately, for a lot of the children's animation that has come directly from the internet, from various sources internationally, a lot of it is of extremely low quality, and it just seems like they're being enabled, right, in this belief that kids entertainment doesn't have to be good. You know, if there's just the baseline, if there's just the bare minimums that can maintain the attention of a child for hundreds of hours at a time, that's it. You know, we don't have to work any harder at it. It doesn't have to be of any special quality. So I find that very disappointing. I think it is a net negative in the animation landscape as a whole. But I don't know. It's money talks. And for years and years now, really low grade children's animation has been spitting out money, just vomiting, congealing money, just, you know, anything you can think of, it's delivering. So we'll see. Maybe that's something to keep an eye on, I guess, throughout this year. See how that develops. But yeah. Anyway, anything else? Anything else anybody wants to bring up real quick here before the end? Sorry, I should probably remove story time from the title. I don't think we really got into too many stories today. But that's good. It means we had other stuff to talk about. It means there are other topics at play. That's been fun. But yeah, obviously I'll do some more digging with the Bee and Puppy Cat stuff. I guess there's a possibility that I've already seen all there is to see, but it sounds like there's more. So I have to check it out. And yeah, I've just been slacking on Hazbin Hotel, but now that I know it's on Prime, it's easy enough to access. That'll be fine. And Scavenger's Reign, I hadn't heard about at all. I don't think so. Thank you guys for the recommendation there as well. That'll be great. And that's Max. We'll see. That might be a little tricky, but I'll find a way to watch it. But yeah, very cool. Let me think real quick if there's any other. I don't think I have like very specific review videos planned at the moment. There were some more, I don't know, general topic videos that I did have planned that are just not finished yet. But yeah, some other short, quick reviews would be nice. Those are relatively easy to produce. So I'd like to do some more of that soon-ish. Maybe Cat Soup. Drop my pen. Maybe Cat Soup deserves its own whole thing. It's just great. I don't know. I would hope that I would find something more to say about it other than it's just great. Oh, it's so good. You can find Cat Soup. Just go ahead and watch it right away. Cool. Okay. And yeah, I didn't really end up talking about channel anniversary stuff, and I think that's fine for now. If there's any sort of interest, you know, maybe next week we could do some sort of, I don't know, casual retrospective what the channel has been like so far, and potential plans for the future. But as I don't have very specific notes with me right now, it's probably better to just wait. Just wait until I have something more solid to say about that. Cool. All right. So from there, I'll probably go ahead and start wrapping up. Yeah. As always, thank you so much. Extra special thanks to the people here for the streams live. You know, that's what keeps the whole thing running. But also thanks to anybody watching the archive version of this later on. It's wonderful too. Very helpful. And about it. Yeah. This is the best way to reach me, by the way, the live streams, as opposed to comments on videos or stream archives. This is where I'm actually really paying attention to comments. So if you ever have a suggestion or a recommendation or just something you would like to say to me, this is the place to do it. Feel free. And I'm always happy to talk to folks here. But yeah, I think that wraps it up for today. Yeah. One more big thank you. Hope you have a great rest of your week. A nice, easy, and relaxing weekend. And I'll see you next Wednesday. unless I have a video up before then, and I hope I do. Okay, that's all for now. Thanks for stopping by.